When you're faced with a problem, do you often feel overwhelmed or unlucky or feel dejected that your plans didn't work out or something unexpected happened that is overwhelming you? Then let me share with you a few ways that I have learned in my life on how to deal with problems in my 10-year-long battle against stage 4 cancer. First thing to remember is problems come to all of us. For me, it was a health crisis. For you, it could be a financial loss, or a loss of a near and dear one, or a relationship problem. The nature will be different, the timing will be different, but problems do come to everyone. And when we understand this, we begin to expect and anticipate problems. And that is the first step in accepting that problems will come and we can deal with them. I was at work when I got that call from the doctor telling me that I've got cancer, and I couldn't believe it. I was just 33 and I had no serious symptom of being so sick. He asked me to set up a PET scan appointment. So when I called the hospital to set up the appointment, the lady there asked me, "Do you have cancer?" She said they don't set up appointments if I didn't have cancer. That's when it struck me that I got cancer, and that's a chronic illness. So I'm sharing that with you so you understand that problems often come to us unexpected and unannounced. That's the nature of problems. But knowing that it will come at some point just helps us accepting them when they do come in our life. The second thing to remember, though, is that problems do not define us, and problems are temporary. They are a phase in our life, and they'll come and go, just like tides of an ocean comes and goes. Throughout my cancer battle, never once did I allow myself to think that I am some sort of a victim of the disease. I always imagined this to be a phase. A difficult, a painful, challenging phase of life, but it will be over. I always imagine there will be a time when life is normal again and I have my good health back. And I want you to always keep that in mind, that problems do not define us and they are temporary. They'll come and then they will go. And I know some of you might be facing problems where situations cannot be reversed. For instance, if we lose someone near and dear, they'll not come back in our life. But the acute pain that we suffer in the separation will go down over time. We'll learn to cope and heal. So to that extent, pain associated with a problem is still temporary. The third thing to remember is to give a right size to the problem. You see, all of us have a tendency to blow our problems way out of proportion. And we often compare our problems with our immediate social circle. And if people around us are not suffering, we think somehow we are the unlucky one and everybody else is in a much happier place. But if we step back a little and really think of the big wide world, there are countless people in much worse situations, suffering war and starvation. So suddenly, our problems don't seem as bad as theirs. We start to give the right size to our problem. One powerful thought to keep in mind is the universe only gives us problems that we can face. So when the problem is coming, we need to tell that I am strong enough to deal with this. The fourth thing to keep in mind is not to ask why, but start asking what. Often, the first question that comes in our mind when we are faced with a problem is, why me? Why did this come to me? Or why did this happen to me? But let me tell you that the why is questioning the situation, the circumstance, which is not in our control. When we change this why to start asking what can I learn from this? What can I do to face this problem? then we're switching our focus to our character and our activities that's fully in our control. You see, from a spiritual wisdom point of view, this life is considered a university of hard knocks. Here, problems come for a reason, and the reason is to teach us some important life lessons. This is a very important perspective that we must keep in dealing with problems. Often we mistakenly think that the main purpose of this life is to enjoy. Is to enjoy the comforts, the luxuries, the peace. But let me tell you that spiritual wisdom tells us that we are here to learn. We are here to reform, and we are here to transform our lives, to evolve and grow from within. So when we start understanding this purpose of life, suddenly problems start making sense. Because problems push us to learn new things, to start reflecting on the true meaning of our life, to start asking, am I focusing on the right things? To open our mind to new possibilities, to look at opportunities that we didn't see before. Problems often transform our character. They build resilience, mental strength, discipline, tolerance, gratitude, humility, all wonderful qualities which we might not acquire if not for the problems in our life. Let me tell you from my personal experience that after that phone call, what followed was 6 months of chemotherapy, which was very painful and challenging, but I plowed through it without changing anything in my lifestyle, including working full-time from home. And I thought, after 6 months, I'm done and dusted, this problem is over, I'm back to my old life. And I continued living that same lifestyle and the same stress until 2 years later, on a recurrence scan, the cancer came back again. And this is the time I realized that the cancer is telling me something. My body is trying to wake me up and teach me something. I learned to change my diet, to focus on my mental health, and started my journey into inner growth and deepened my faith and spirituality. So I can tell you that the transformation that I found in my life today couldn't be possible without that painful healing journey. So the problems that I faced had a purpose to change me, teach me to grow from within. So I want you to remember that pain often has a purpose, and problems can lead to progress. And when you keep this perspective in mind, suddenly you will start looking at your problems differently. It won't look as terrible as they initially seemed. And now you will start looking at them as stepping stone to your own inner progress. And one last thing I want to tell you about developing that mental strength to deal with our problems is to deepen our faith. When we have faith, we know we're not alone. We know there is somebody up there who's taking care of us, protecting us, giving us the wisdom, the strength, and the capabilities that we need to face our problems and get out of this situation and learn and transform and heal. So take a moment to reflect on your problem, either past or present, and ask yourself this question. Are your problems telling you something? Are they waking you up and asking you to change? Are your problems teaching you something so that you can grow from within and live that beautiful life that you truly deserve? And do share that in the comments below so we all can learn from each other's experiences. I'm Supriya, by the way, for those of you who don't know me, and it is my humble attempt to use this channel to bring to you wisdom and motivation that will hopefully help you in your inner transformation and give you that happiness that you truly deserve. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, you take care.